Dear Patriots, before the news starts, please subscribe to our patriotic channel by clicking the subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up to this video. Don't forget to leave your opinion below in the comments section. Share the news on Facebook and Twitter so you friends see it. Thank you.
Debra Messing tearfully praises 13-year-old son for sitting down during the national anthem. Will and Grace actress Debra Messing posted a photo onto her Facebook page celebrating her son sitting down for the national anthem. The caption of the photo reads, "Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance." Son, Mom, I want to sit down and protest. Can we do that? Me, yes, honey. We can do that. Who's crying? I'm not crying. #BLM, she wrote. The fact that her son is protesting the national anthem is enough to make her cry tears of joy. And apparently, Black Lives Matter has something to do with it. Why do liberals believe that to respect Black lives you have to disrespect our country? Tons of people flooded her comments telling her how wrong she is. Debra, and you're proud of that? I'm sickened by your disrespect. I doubt that I'll ever watch Will and Grace again. You, single-handedly, are destroying your audience, wrote one user. This is crazy. I would live for my husband to stand in front of you in uniform and you sit for the pledge. The day you fight for this country is the day that you can protest against it, wrote another. How about Americans, and people living in the USA, respect the country. Stop disrespecting the men and women that fight for this country and those that have lost their lives doing so. As a Marine mom, this is sickening. Please stop teaching your kids this and teach them to change the world in a positive way. Not sitting. I love Will and Grace, but I'm so sick of seeing this crap. Thanks to my son and others like him, you have the right to speak, act however you want, wrote another. DNC's Howard Dean tells all old people to get the hell out of politics. During an MSNBC interview, former DNC chairman Howard Dean suggested that people over 50 shouldn't be involved with politics because their futures won't be as affected by policy decision. I'm very much for somebody who's younger. I think my generation has got to get the hell out of politics. Start coaching and start moving up this next generation who I think are more fiscally sane, said Dean in an interview with Morning Joe. I actually think the progressives are in the process of informally taking over the Democratic Party. Neither Republicans or Democrats can claim they are fiscally responsible anymore after what the Republicans just did with this tax bill. This young generation is going to pay for that if we don't get the hell out of the way, and have somebody who's 50 running the country, said Dean. Chris Murphy from Pennsylvania, from Connecticut. Kamala Harris of course. Kirsten Gillibrand. I wouldn't be surprised if you saw 17 people running, said Dean. It might be nice having older people in politics because they have actually had experience and knows better what works and what doesn't work. This isn't the only crazy thing Howard Dean has said recently. Last month Dean shared a wacky conspiracy theory that the alt-right created an alternative version of Trump's Access Hollywood tape to convince people it wasn't true. MSNBC just said NYC terrorism could have been caused by radicalized Catholics. The recent terrorist attack in New York City where a Muslim rammed a van into a bike lane and killed 8 people has restarted the debate about restricting the ability of potentially harmful people from entering the United States. Liberal network MSNBC, however, pushed back against this and argued that this would not help, claiming that people who grew up in the United States are just as likely to become terrorists. One guest even went so far as to claim that terror attacks have already been carried out by radicalized Catholics. The network's security expert Malcolm Nance first claimed that terrorist attacks are carried out because of evil, but that it has nothing to do with the Islamic religious. He said, "It is evil. You're seeing the physical manifestation of a cult ideology. What you're seeing is not Islam, whatsoever. None of is this condoned. Including the sacrificing and getting yourself killed at the end of a terrorist attack, None of that is Islamic, it's anti-Islamic. Nance then claimed about terrorists, when you get down to the street level, you have these former petty criminals, these guys who are really sort of losers in their own society. Even Christians, we have seen Catholics in Canada who converted to quote-unquote, Islam and carried out acts of terror. You see them do this, and what you really see is a person who either has a mental defect or who has some loss or vacuum in their world, and they decide ISIS or Al-Qaeda ideology, and those acts will validate them once and for all in their life. On a previous show on MSNBC, Malcolm said the same thing talking about the Boston bombers, saying, "We saw the same problem that happened with the Tsarnaev brothers in Boston. These people self-radicalized, and it could have been an American who was formerly Catholic 2 weeks ago just as easily as a person from South Asia. Why do liberals keep apologizing for radical Islam?" Breaking: famous actress just publicly praised her son for not standing during the anthem. Following the great racial divide in America created by former President Barack Obama, many Americans on the left have become increasingly confused when it comes to supporting the country that has done so much for them. One of these people in multimillionaire Will and Grace actress Debra Messing, who never has to work another day in her life thanks to get a lucrative co-starring role in the long-running sitcom. As a matter of fact, her 13-year-old son Roman certainly will not have to work a single day in his life, either. Regardless of this, these two hyper-wealthy U.S. citizens feel that they have the right to publicly spurn the United States, its flag, and those who have sacrificed so much to protect our nation. Debra and Roman recently attended a New York Rangers hockey game, and her son told her that he did not want to stand for the national anthem. Instead of carrying out proper parenting and correcting this confused junior high schooler, Debra gave him permission to do so and even expressed pride at his choice to insult America. She posted this incident on her Facebook page, writing, "Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Son, Mom, I want to sit down and protest. Can we do that?" Me, yes, honey. We can do that. She added, "Who's sick, crying? I'm not crying." #BLM, the actress added. Commented one Facebook user on her post, "Debra, and you're proud of that? I'm sickened by your disrespect. I doubt that I'll ever watch Will and Grace again. You, single-handedly, are destroying your audience. Do you think Debra Messing should be ashamed of herself for how she did both her son and America wrong?" CNN defends Islamic terrorist against President Trump for saying he's an animal. President Trump called the terrorist who killed 8 people in New York City an animal. This should be common sense. But shockingly, CNN rushed to defend the terrorist against President Trump's mean attack. "I would say it's amazing, but it's not, because every day he says things that no other president has ever said, and that are really shocking," said CNN analyst Paul Callan. Calling somebody, in a criminal case, as President of the United States, an animal may be the guy on the street thinks that, and a lot of people think that. But the President of the United States has to stand with a little bit of dignity when representing the country. And what he is suggesting, I think, Brooke, in saying what he did, is that we should take them out and shoot them," said Callan. "Wow. That's ridiculous." That wasn't CNN's only ridiculous comment of the day. They also attacked Trump for saying they should send the terrorists to Gitmo. According to CNN analyst Juliette Kayyem, "If we do that, then the terrorists win. There is nothing different about the evidence, nothing different about the courts that would sort of justify, even if you can legally, taking it to Guantanamo Bay. So, I think the president is making a political argument, not a legal argument. One quick thing, if you want the terrorists to win, you have them abandon our judicial system, which is the envy of the world. This is a case that the New York judicial system can handle, the federal judicial system can handle," she said. CNN's Jim Acosta attacks President Trump for injecting politics into Muslim terrorist attack. Within minutes of the Vegas terror attack, Democrats all over the media jumped to attacking the Second Amendment as well as white men. However, CNN's Jim Acosta now seems to be furious with Trump for injecting politics for calling out Islamic terrorism after the New York City attack. I think President Trump, Brooke, now has the world record for injecting politics into the aftermath of a terror attack. That is exactly what has happened in the last 12 hours or so, as the president has been tweeting about this, said Acosta on CNN's newsroom. And if you look at the comments he made at the beginning of his cabinet meeting, in addition to regarding the U.S. justice system as a joke and a laughingstock, he also called for sweeping changes to the nation's immigration system, saying we should get rid of the diversity lottery system. This has been in place for almost 2 decades, said Acosta. Keep in mind, when the president blames the Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer and Democrats for this is a program that was put in place by Democrats and Republicans, said Acosta. And there was an effort in 2013 by the so-called Gang of Eight on Capitol Hill in the Senate that tried to do away with it, Republicans and Democrats. So the president is playing politics with this, said Acosta. Do you think he gets this angry when Democrats inject anti-gun politics after every shooting? Or is he perhaps a biased hypocrite?